From Argus they fled, exiled by their fallen kin and pursued by the Burning Legion. On Draenei they landed, and attempted to lead a peaceful existence until the Man'ari discovered their location. Pressed to near extinction by the manipulated orcs, they went into hiding. Then came the Blood Elves under Kael'Thas Sunstrider's rule, who became enamored with the powers of the Naru's interdimensional ships and took the Tempest Keep for themselves. Now a broken and hostile planet, the exiled ones fled Draenei, seizing a wing of the Tempest Keep. With the Exodar they left Draenei, but their engine had been sabotaged. They hurtled through the twisting nether, fighting to gain control, and eventually emerged over Azeroth, landing explosively on Kalimdor's western coast, on a chain of islands known as the Azuremyst Isles. Before the sudden arrival of the Draenei, Azuremyst Isle was practically untouched, a haven for many species of fauna and flora to thrive without the interference of civilization. Night Elven ruins dated before the Sunderings stand on its southern shores, and a small Night Elven settlement once housed a family on the small island of Silvermist off the coast. A tribe of furbolgs call the island their home, in tune with the nature around them. Little else is known about the history of the island, until the Exodar's arrival. The ship itself punched deep into the island in its catastrophic landing, and left debris scattered all across the land. Many separate wings of the Exodar remain intact, one in the Ammon Vale, and several strewn across Bloodmist Isle. More dangerous, however, were the high number of crystal shards littering the islands, the crystals a power source for the ship itself and wreaking havoc on the previously undisturbed creatures of the small island. In the Ammon Vale, survivors are slowly awoken and nursed back to health, and immediately set to the task of assisting in the problems caused by the crash. Creatures of the land are quickly being corrupted by the crystal debris, and at first it is unclear if the rest of the ship survived the crash. Blood Elves are discovered tucked away in the Vale, scouting the Draenei's actions. Contact with the rest of Azuremyst is quickly established, and the survivors are sent out to lend a hand with the rest of the surviving Draenei. At the center of the island a base is established, Azure Watch, and from there Draenei are directed around the island. At the base itself lies a wounded Night Elf, who awakes and panics at the sight of the Draenei, labeling them Eredar. In the past, Night Elves had fought with the Man'ari that joined the Burning Legion, once part of the Eredar race along with the Draenei. The Prophet Velen, leader of the Draenei, foresaw the discrimination of their race by the other races of Azeroth. In time they would ally and fight alongside the Alliance, but not before they paid for the sins of their kin. The Prophet also foresaw a grand battle between light and dark, and the Draenei survivors sent off to find others like the Night Elf, in the hopes of establishing an alliance. The Draenei finds a small encampment of Alliance sailors, stranded on the island after Venture Company forces forced the ships to make an emergency landing, with the desire to strip mine the fallen crystals and steal the Alliance ships. The Draenei helps uncover a traitor amongst the crew, and seals a friendship with the Alliance encampment, which would go far in securing their place among the Alliance. The Draenei also assist the Stillpine Furbolgs in fighting the Bristlelimb, Furbolgs corrupted by the Legion's influence, as well as clearing out the Stillpine Hold, which has become infested with wildkin corrupted by one of the Exodar's power cores. The Stillpine had a prophecy that someone would save them from the corrupted Furbolgs, as well as what they considered the apocalypse. It is the Draenei adventurer that they attribute this prophecy to, solidifying an alliance between the Furbolgs and the Draenei. The Draenei survivor also discovers a Night Elven house on Silvermist Isle. A large crystal crashed through its roof. Albeasts surround the house, having become malicious due to the crystal's corruption. The adventurer comforts the owner of the house, Cowlin, believing himself to be the sole survivor, and later returns his daughter Magwyn to him, who had become lost on the other side of the island. The Draenei also learns of a bounty placed on their people's heads by the Blood Elves, and the sabotage they caused upon the Exodar. They discover that a traitor had stowed away on the Exodar, a Draenei that then transmitted the Exodar's location to Kael'Thas, and by extension killed Jaden. And finally, the Draenei learns of Kael'Thas' desecration of Tempest Keep's sole remaining Naru, Muru. Kael'Thas had sent Muru back to Quel'Thalas, where its power was used to support the Blood Knights. It was later stolen once again by Kael'Thas and taken to the Sunwell, where it was drained completely and corrupted into a void god. It has since been merged with the Sunwell to reignite its power, but the countless hated acts by Kael'Thas caused strong tensions between the Draenei and the Blood Elves. In the years following, the Cataclysm brought with it human refugees to Azuremyst, seeking refuge with the Draenei, who were largely untouched by the Cataclysm's effects. When the repairs to the Exodar and its engines were tested, riots broke out, the refugees worried that the Draenei were going to leave them. Only Velen was able to calm the people down and convince them to return to their homes to rebuild. Azuremyst Isle, once one of the few places left alone by today's civilizations, has now become a haven for the exiled Draenei. Littered with debris of their fallen ship, the Draenei seek to return Azuremyst to its peaceful state and remove the contamination from the land.